Greetings of peace and blessings. I am Laranah Phipps. Welcome to the first edition of He Say, She Say. Our subjects today start with Enheduanna. She was in the 23rd century BCE in Mesopotamia. She was the daughter of Sargon, who was the empire builder. He was known as the King of Kings. He who united the riverlands under one fist. And she, his daughter, no, she wasn't placed on a throne. She was sent to the temple. A high priestess of Inanna, who is the goddess of love and war. It is said, she who feasts on the corpse like a dog and enfolds her beloved in her beauty. Enheduanna was the first named author in human history. It is said that there were scribes who copied her words 600 years after her, and they even added to them. She is probably more than one woman writing, more like a lineage, a generation of temple women who are creative and whose names we'll never know. They're gathered all under one roof. There was an alabaster disc, and it was excavated in 1927. Her name, her title, her father's name were all carved into this disc. And this is real, and so is her story. What we know is she said all the things listed. She wrote them. Her and probably some of her companions. Her name became the vessel for literature. That's the tradition, and that is the handoff. I'm Laranah Phipps, and I present to you He Say, She Say from the Voices of Sisterhood. My father was a pioneer of jazz, a mystic, a man respected, and his name was spoken in rooms that I've never entered. He carried something, he handed it to me, and now I carry it to you. That's also the tradition, and that's also the handoff. Here sat a daughter of a king, an ancient ancestor. And she asks all of us, what do we do with these names we are given? These names that call to us. What do we do with the voices that came before us? We speak them aloud and we tell their stories. And here are a few more. We will return to Enheduanna at a later date, and I'll give you some of her works. Here are some other stories, very briefly. Harriet Tubman, born into slavery, her head was wounded at 13. She used to have seizures, and she would go into these seizures and they would show her visions. And she said, I had reasoned this out of my mind. There was one or two things that I had a right to: liberty or death. If I couldn't have one, I would definitely have the other. She never lost a passenger. And she said that too. Billie Holiday, Lady Day, a friend and colleague of my father. Her voice was like a very sharpened blade wrapped in soft velvet. She said, you can be up to your boobies in white satin with gardenias in your hair and no sugar cane around for miles. But you still working on a plantation. She also said, everyone's got to be a little different. You can't copy anybody and end up with anything. If you copy, it means you're working without any real feeling. And without any real feeling, whatever you do amounts to nothing. Miriam Makeba, Mama Africa, and a personal friend of my mother. In 1963, she was 30 years old, standing before the United Nations General Assembly, speaking, not singing. Her voice was low and sometimes it would break under the pain of it all. And she said, I ask you and all of the leaders of the world, would you act differently? Would you keep silent and do nothing? If you were in our place, would you not resist if you were allowed no rights in your own country because of the color of your skin and the fact that it's different from the rulers who have taken over your land? Later on in life, she said, now I'm just a little old lady, a little old singer. I'm not a politician. I just want and wish for people to be soldiers. Soldiers not to fight against each other, but to fight against poverty, against illness, disease, greed, and all of the ills of the world. Just be an army for all goodness. Sister Clara Muhammad, born 1899. She was the sharecropper's daughter. She married at 20. She had 8 children, and times were very hard for her in those beginnings. And she said, there were times we didn't have a piece of bread in the house, nor heat, water, or even sufficient wearing apparel. This woman helped to found the Nation of Islam alongside of her husband, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They built the University of Islam from a grade school curriculum that she wrote herself. She taught self-love, self-reliance, and she trained women and girls in the Muslim Girls Training and General Civilization class, the mighty MGT and GCC, of which I am a proud member. Yeah, that's a picture of me right there. She helped us to found our self-pride. In 1967, she published an article. It was called An Invitation. And she said, an invitation to 22 million Black Americans. She said, come. She said, build. But she said, we did. Sister Georgiana Thomas, Washington, D.C., 1874. She was an esteemed woman of color who had a dream, a beautiful dream, of an Eastern Star chapter for women who looked like her. And then one day, Sir Thornton Andrew Jackson came to her and said, let us establish it. Oh, she leaped for joy. Her home became the meeting place. Queen Esther, chapter number 1, the very first order of Eastern Star, Prince Hall affiliated. And at that first meeting, Grand Master William H. Myers looked out at those sisters and he said, may the dove of peace hover over you. May the all-seeing eye, whom the sun, moon, and stars obey, ever watch over you. May he keep and protect you in every effort to promote the interests in the general good of this chapter. Those women are our ancestors now. Those men are our ancestors as well. And their names are still marching forward. To these great men and women, Enheduanna, Harriet Tubman, Billie Holiday, Miriam Makeba, Clara Muhammad, Georgiana Thomas, Martha Welch. He said it. They said it. She said it. And I'm just repeating it. I'm Laranah Phipps. This is He Say, She Say, Voices of Sisterhood. We have been handed this mic for more than 4,000 years, and will probably be handing this mic, passing it down forward for generations to come. Until next time, until another voice, maybe it'll be you. Peace and blessings. I thank you for listening.